Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am Jeff GrantMEDIA. In today's real user review, we are going to be taking a look at the Carhartt WIP Detroit Jacket. Now, Huckberry did send me this as a sample for review, but all of the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. I did not share this content with Huckberry prior to publication. They will see this when you do. In addition to that, there is an affiliate link in the description box down below. If you're considering buying this jacket or any other product from Huckberry, please consider using that link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a small percentage of that sale. Kick back to me. All that money goes back to the channel. Tell me to produce more content so consumers can make informed purchasing decisions. So who is Carhartt WIP? It does sound like a name that you've heard with that WIP added on the end. Well, Carhartt WIP is actually a branch of the Carhartt family. The WIP stands for Work in Progress. It's kind of a sub-brand, if you will, that takes some of the vintage Carhartt silhouettes, like the Detroit jacket that I'm wearing here, but they expand them to more of a streetwear. So they do work with other brands. I believe they have their own skate team, but it isn't workwear focused. Yes, they take some of the legacy of the workwear brand and work that into their line, but it is a completely separate brand. I believe it is EU based, where most of the clothing is actually sewn in Tunisia, which is in North Africa. Had to look that up. I didn't know. It seems like they source most of their materials from all around Europe, but the main factory where the products are actually produced is in Tunisia. And I will say, I have spent probably 15 years of my life selling Carhartt, and the Detroit jacket is one of my favorite Carhartt silhouettes. I absolutely love the look of this jacket. I did have an old J97, the blanket lined, that I absolutely loved. I gave it to my brother. He was a truck driver, who still is a truck driver, and he basically wore that until it died, and then it was kind of at my parents' house, and then it just kind of disappeared. So I'm sure one of my nieces or nephews walked away with it at some point. Whether or not it's still in the family, I don't know. But I could probably guarantee you that jacket still exists somewhere in this world because it was a beast, and it just probably would never wear out. But the J97, or the Detroit jacket as more commonly known, is one of my all-time favorite silhouettes. I just absolutely love the look, I love the fit, I love the feel, I love the silhouette of this jacket. It is a vintage piece of Carhartt memorabilia, and it's when I think of Carhartt, this is kind of what I think of. So the WIP, I've now been wearing this for a couple of weeks, maybe upwards of a month and a half at this point, and I do like this quite a bit. It is an unlined version, so this is just I believe a 12-ounce canvas. So this time of the year, it's April. It's like mid-April. This time of the year more for the temperature rather than the rain weather. It works great because it's a little bit cooler in the mornings. So I've been layering this something with like this Gustin Monster shirt. It's a little bit thicker of a shirt. It's kind of more of a shirt jacket, and I absolutely love the way the shirt looks. It's got that cool Southwestern vibe, which I think actually works out really well with the Carhartt J97. But I'm kind of wearing this as a bit of a shirt jacket layer. So like right now, I'm wearing the Flint & Tinder moleskin spaghetti western shirt, and this is a little bit thicker of a shirt as it is. So on like a 40-degree day, I'd be fine just like this with the WIP over something like the spaghetti moleskin western shirt. But on those colder mornings, throwing on something like that Gustin Monster shirt as kind of like a mid-layer, it works out great. And for a point of reference, I'm 5'9", roughly 175 to 180 pounds, and I'm wearing a size large. And right now I have this layered as if I would if it would be a colder morning. I have my spaghetti western shirt on underneath. I have my Gustin Monster as a mid-layer, and then I have my Carhartt Detroit jacket WIP over it, and I could zip this up. No problem. I still have plenty of room. I can still move around, and this is kind of how I've been wearing this on the colder mornings. I would just kind of throw this on as a layer, again, because I really like the way that this shirt looks, and I think that this like Southwestern vibe matches really well with the Carhartt look, especially of the Detroit jacket, because the traditional Detroit jacket actually has a blanket liner, which isn't necessarily Southwestern vibe, but the traditional Detroit jacket does have that blanket liner, and I think that this just looks really good with them, and it works really well. I can use it as a mid layer, and then at the end of the day, when I'm going home and it's a little bit cooler out, or a little bit warmer out, I'm sorry, I could shed one of these two layers. Usually I'll end up shedding the shirt jacket or the mid layer, just because sometimes it's windy and I like to have the Detroit jacket on as a windbreak. So then I'll throw this on, and then when I'm walking out of work for the day, this is how I'm heading home. I'll Still have my jacket on, which will usually have my car keys and everything in the pocket, so I'm ready, good to go. Got my car keys in my pocket, ready to walk out to the car. And I think this size large works really, really well. You can see it's fitting well over just a singular button down and a t-shirt, and it still fit well over a mid-layer and my button-down shirt. So I can layer with this, which helps because it is, again, an online jacket. Now, the one thing I don't like is the zippers reversed. Usually a men's jacket has the zipper pull tab on the right-hand side. So when I'm zipping it, it's just kind of opposite of how I'm normally used to doing it. It zips fine, the zipper works completely fine, but it's inverse. So yet usually women's jackets zip with the tab on the left side and men's with the tab on the right side. So it's just a little awkward to zipper it, and mostly to take it apart, because I get down and I'm trying to pull like this to pull my jacket apart, but it actually goes the other way. So it zips and unzips completely fine. The zipper isn't faulty. It's just that the way the zipper has been attached to the jacket, it is opposite of how a men's jacket, at least in the States, normally is. It's usually the inverse. So when I'm unzipping it, I have force of habit of grabbing with my right hand and trying to pull up with my left, but because the tab is attached to the left side, it's inverse. So sometimes, not sometimes, almost every single time, I find myself fumbling with the zipper of the jacket. Not a big deal, but 95% of my jackets that have zippers zipper the other way. So it's kind of weird. It's not something hard to remember, but it's just muscle memory. So every time I unzip my jacket, the muscle memory wants to pull it apart the opposite way. So every time I go to unzip this jacket, I'm trying to tug on it like this without even thinking about it. It's just muscle memory. After 40 plus years of zipping and unzipping jackets, I want to undo my jacket this way, but it's the opposite. So it's just a whole muscle memory thing. So quite literally every time I unzip this jacket, I'm trying to pull it apart the wrong way, and I have to think about it. I do have like one, I think, other jacket that I currently have that zippers that way. I think it's one of my rain jackets. But I've had a few jackets over the years that zipper like that, and it's always awkward. So it's not just the Carhartt WIP. It's every time I get a zipper that is inverse from the norm of the way that menswear is made, at least in the States. I'm guessing this is not a global thing because these are EU-based. So it wouldn't be a stretch to think that possibly in the EU, the zipper tab for men's jacket would be on the left side. But for us gentlemen in the States, it's the opposite. So it's just a little bit... it's a little bit awkward, muscle memory and all, but the actual mechanism of the zipper works completely fine. But other than that, I don't really have anything negative to say. I mean, again, the Carhartt Detroit Jacket is my favorite silhouette. This has been a great jacket for this time of the year, especially with the sizing. I feel like it fits and it lays really well over the body because I can still wear it like this over a button-down shirt, but I can layer this with a heavier shirt, and I've had a hoodie underneath this as well, so I have plenty of room to wear this, and it doesn't look either bulky when I'm wearing something thicker underneath it, and it doesn't look overly big and sloppy when I'm just wearing, say, a button-down underneath it. Now, this particular Carhartt WIP jacket comes in at $268 USD in the black colorway, and $248 in the Hamilton Brown colorway, and it would be called Hamilton Brown after Hamilton Carhartt, who founded the company in 1889. The jacket features 2 hand warmer pockets and 1 zipper closure chest pocket on the left side. It is made from a 12-ounce 100% organic cotton, and they say that it is imported. Now, they do not come right out and tell you where they are imported from, but a quick Google search tells me that Carhartt gets their materials from the EU, as well as Turkey, Egypt, Japan, and Morocco. And the clothing are mostly manufactured in Tunisia. Now, if you want to compare this to the standard Carhartt J97 Detroit jacket, that comes in at about $110 for the straight regular sizes. Once we get into talls, or the larger sizes, that price jumps up to about $120 USD. So having now tested my very first piece of Carhartt WIP, I like it. It's not bad. To me, it feels like the sandstone version of the old Detroit jacket. It's got that softer feel to it. It's pre-broken in, so it's not super stiff. So you don't have to get the jacket and basically wear it for 100 years, work in it, or wash it just to soften it up. Otherwise, it will just stand up on its own. It's already broken in. It's not distressed, so it's not like faded. It doesn't have like wear marks in it, which I like. I prefer to distress my clothing on my own if they get that way. So I like the fact that it's like kind of like the sandstone, because having worn a lot of Carhartt and sold a lot of Carhartt, yes, the duck is nice, but it is not the best. If you're working in it, it's great. I much prefer or would recommend the duck material. It's going to be much more durable. It's the same fabric. It's just already washed and worn in when you get that sandstone. But if you're not working in it, I much prefer the sandstone or this 100% organic cotton like WIP version that's washed out. Just the fact that it's already broken in, it makes the jacket that much more pleasurable to wear right out of the box, because you're not walking around very rigid or very stiff because the material itself is very rigid, very stiff. It's already broken in, it's comfortable to wear, and it's a good layer for the early spring, I'd say early fall times of the year, because again, I can layer, I can wear it without, it works great as a shell, and this is just my favorite silhouette. So do I think it's worth $268? I don't know. I mean, I can get a standard Detroit jacket for $110, but I like it. It's not bad. It's different. It's not something I've ever had. It is, again, focused more on streetwear, so it's more fashion oriented as opposed to work oriented. I would not work in this. I don't think this organic cotton is going to hold up nearly as well as a duck if I actually wore this out. But for a fashion, you're paying a little bit more for that because you're getting different materials. You're getting essentially pre-broken in materials, which always cost more. The sandstones were always more than the duck because there's more that go into making it. There's more processes to make that fabric the way it looks and feels when you get it brand new. So there is more that goes into making this. Basically, it's washed or worn or some sort of treated to give it that washed and worn feeling right out the gate. So it is processed more than the standard duck material, so that's automatically going to make that price go up. It's not bad. I think it's probably worth around the $200 price point, but thus far, I'm digging it. I like it. If you can find one on sale, I'd say snag it. I do think that $268 might be a bit high for the price, but it is a nice jacket. It's great. It's comfortable to wear, and I like the fit, feel, finish, the way it's laying on the body. It's great. So overall, it's been a pleasurable wearing experience, and I will continue to wear this, but I think that the price point should come down a couple of notches. I just think that the price point is a little bit too high when you can get a standard Carhartt Detroit jacket for like $110. So it's more than double that price. But you are getting, again, a sandstone, which would be a little bit more, probably more like that $125 to $150 range. So it's not quite double, but it's still close to that. But I mean, I like it. It's a nice jacket. If you see one on sale, which Huckberry does often run sales, I'd say snag one if you can get one on sale. If you find one around the $200 price point, I'd say that is a very fair price point to pay for this jacket. It's comfortable, it fits well, it wears well, and I really dig it. I just wish the zipper was on the other side. So with that, if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.